Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to Julie Altimus. Is that how I
Ultimate.
pronounce your name?
Ultimus.
Altimus. Okay. This is your Instagram glow up call. I'm super excited for you to introduce yourself. But first, I want to kind of tell everyone what an Instagram glow up call is. We have created these little 1 hour coaching sessions where we do a deep dive into small business owners' Instagram accounts and tell them what they could do better to attract their dream clients. We evaluate things like your social media goals. We give you a full profile audit from the top where your value proposition is, all the way down to your highlight categories. And then the second half of the call, if you want to jump ahead, is all about your content, the consistency, our EIEIO methodology, and then we go all the way down to those hashtags. We are going to talk about what's working, what's not working, and finally leave you with 3 recommendations that you can take into the future and go and edit and fix up your Instagram account when we're done. We take notes on the back and we send this to you afterwards. So I'm really excited about that. And I've taken a look at your Instagram and, there's a lot of things you're doing great. So without further ado, just introduce yourself. Please tell us who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and how people out there in YouTube world can work with you.
Well, you said it, Brooklyn. It's Julie Ultimus. I don't know where people get Artemis, but you're not the first person to even attempt to put an R in there, but but it is Ultimus. And I help video shy online entrepreneurs and, of course, regular entrepreneurs as well. But it seems like a lot of my ideal clients come out of the course industry, or they're online course creators, excuse me, they're coaches, they have memberships, but also a lot of entrepreneurs find themselves a part of my clients as well. So that I've got wedding photographers and people that automate Airbnbs in Europe, all the way down to real estate agents. So there's kind of a full gamut of entrepreneurs there. But those are the people that I help, people that want to implement video marketing, that want to do video, whether it's for their social media platforms or they want to send out email marketing campaigns utilizing the power of video, but they're scared to death of the camera. They don't like the way that they look. They don't like the way that they sound, and they stutter and they stammer and they look like a deer in the headlights as soon as that camera light comes on. So I help them move past the mindset and the fears of being on camera. And then once they get on camera, then what? How do you make yourself have great media presence, video presence, and then translate that into coming up with raving clients so that those videos, actually convert and do something for you, bring in a lead, bring in some business. After all, that's the whole reason why we're putting ourselves on video in the first place. Not all of
Yeah.
us like to do TikTok dances, right? We don't want to get on there to be funny and fun. Well, maybe we do want to be funny and fun, but I'm saying we don't all have to have that pressure of doing a TikTok dance. We actually want to get on there and be known for somebody, and have an expertise, I guess you could say, in a certain industry.
Yeah. So
So that's where I
how can people work with you? What kind of programs and things do you have? Just name a few and maybe your website.
Mm-hmm. So my website the domain is just about to change because my real name is Julie Ultimus. Right now, my domain is Jules Ultimus, Jules. So that's my website, julesultimus.com. I am about to launch a course. This was like birthing a baby. It was incredibly difficult to put it together. I had to get out of, on paper what was in my head. So my launch is live next month. The course will be live. I am only going to have it open for a week, and then I'll close it and then reopen it later, because I will be doing some live coaching within the course as I deliver out the modules. And then I also have an international membership now where people can come to me and they can be a part of the membership as well. But you will have had to have the course first, because otherwise you will not have a clue what we're talking about unless you've had a little bit of context. So you can find out all about the course on my website. There is an online course tab. The tab is a little bit under construction, but most of it is there. And so that's how you can find me, connect with me, email me, all the things right through my website. And I do have all the links. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn, you can find me everywhere. Instagram is Jules Ultimus TV, and Facebook is julie.ultimus, and same thing for LinkedIn, same thing for YouTube.
All right. Well, we will link everything in the show notes here for this YouTube. And without further ado, we're just going to kind of start at the top and work our way down. With your Instagram, I just want to kind of give some before we share screen and hop over there. I did look at that, obviously in preparation for this, and one of the things that you said was change happens in the specifics. And you said
Yes.
with video, you have to think of the one thing that you're most afraid of. And if you can get rid of that one, work on that one thing, then you can start to get better at video marketing for yourself or being on a showing up on video. So I really like that, and I think that that applies uh, to this Instagram glow up call as well, because change happens in the specifics. And overall, obviously, you're a video marketing coach, and that's kind of like a gold mine for Angela and I, because most people, we look at their feed and we're like, you know what? You're missing from your feed. We don't see your face anywhere, right? And so that's not the case
Right.
with you. So change happens in the specifics, and they're just going to be little granular changes that maybe we can see. Sometimes when we're as a small business, when we're in it, it's really hard to, see what we don't see.
Oh yeah.
Um, Let's see. So we're going to start with that, and we will just keep going. Let's go over here. Now, I do want to tell you that even though we're going to be talking about Instagram today, uh, a lot of the things that we are talking about can be applied to, say your Instagram again, really quick.
Julie Optimus.
Jules Ultimus TV. It's Jules, Jules, Ultimus TV.
There we go.
There it
Yeah.
is.
I have it pulled up on my phone. Okay, so let's make this just a little bit smaller so we can see things. So we're going to go over your social media goals. We kind of talked about that prior to you getting on the call. And I want to make sure that Angelin has the same notes and that this all sounds right. You want to make sure, because you are doing this launch next month, that your social media platforms are optimized. I translate that as you're going to have an influx of people showing up, and you want to make sure that your social media captures that viewer and drives traffic to your conversion event, your free webinar that's going to sell your core offer, which is your your new course, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
You want to make sure your Instagram's set up for success, which I say is kind of like the same goal. And then everything looks good online.
That's right.
You mentioned Gary V, but he is kind of foul-mouthed. I agree with that, but that's fine. He delivers some really great valuable content. I think Angelin will agree with me on this. Um, Green screens, scrolling, B-roll, hook, face to camera, all those things are important, but nothing's more important than your intent behind the post. If your intention behind the post is to make a difference in the life of the person seeing it, in their business life, their video life, something, if your intention is to help, then I think that that kind of content naturally does better. So, if you're real salesy, heavy on that, I don't care if you have a hook or a green screen, it's not going to perform as well.
Yeah, that's just a delivery style. That's just a way to talk about content. What we've got to really dial in first is your content, your strategy. What is your overall strategy? Do you have your audience identified? Are you speaking to that audience? Are you putting out content that actually educates, inspires, informs, entertains them? Are you doing all those things? And then once we have that figured out, then you can talk about what's trending and how you deliver it, and the different styles. And green screens do not matter if it does not match your brand. It doesn't matter. Like, you've got to have kind of that brand. What does your audience want? So we'll show you some of that today too. But let's kind of start with your bio. I love your headshot. Oh my God, that's so cute. I love it with the color in the background. That's super fun. It shows you being bold. I wouldn't change anything about that at all. Um, okay, your bio is actually really great. There's a couple little things I would tweak, and I know Brooklyn will have some thoughts here as well. I would hide that part that says public figure. I would hide that. And you do that by going to your dashboard. Hold on, let me always have to look at the right, make sure I'm telling you, edit profile. Just
Okay, this
because
is
that,
on your phone, I'm assuming.
yeah, that takes up space. You don't need it. That's just a category for Instagram, and you don't need it. You want people to actually be able to read your words. So it kind of helps you move up your words a little bit if that's hidden. Um, Brooklyn,
When
do
you
you have any content or any comments on her bio itself? Because I'm not sure I would, I mean, I really like it. Um,
Um, well, like you just said, when you hide your category, it gives you more lines on your profile to show,
mhm.
so that you can have more of a call to action. You don't have a call to action, but you do say who you are and what you do. I think you could add this 100+ transformations up here to this one, like somehow combine those two into one line. Move I
Okay.
help video shy entrepreneurs go from nervous and anxious to confident go-to experts. You can move that up. So that's your second line. And then how people can work with you. So your call to action needs to align with your BHAG. Let's
Yeah.
use your word because that was also on your thing. Your big, hairy, audacious goal with this big launch. That is your focus. And we're going to talk about that in your content a little bit more in a minute. But we always teach this 3-step process. You got to have a focus, which is whatever your product, service, or event is that you're trying to promote. A goal, a number goal. I want to get 50 people signed up. I want to get 10 people signed up. I want to get 7 DM inquiries. I want to get 400 more followers. What is your number goal associated with that focus? So, what are you trying to achieve through that social media? So, one of the ways to optimize your Instagram profile is to dial in your call to action and your top link so that it aligns with that focus. That can change weekly. That could change daily sometimes, depending on what you're promoting on the reel that day. You want to reorder your links so that the top link in your profile aligns with whatever you're selling, whether that's a subscribe to my thing, download my freebie, register for the webinar, whatever that call to action is. That can change often.
Okay.
Right. And I mean, yes, you could say, um, you don't have very much space here. So you only have like 150 characters, I think it is.
Right.
So if you have space by reworking some things, you could say, join my free webinar, or I'm sure you'll have it in your link tree. The other thing you can do is we could do some pinned posts at the top of your content that kind of dives in a little bit more to your call to action. That's what we actually have is we have 3 pin posts across the top with our 3 freebies, the top of our funnels. So that is something we can dive into a little bit with you. But anyway, I don't think your bio needs much. It's just a couple tiny little things, and then let's really look more at your content.
Yes, there's
How
two.
to get rid of public figure. I mean, I know you said dashboards, but
Here, I'm going to
what?
show you. I'll share my screen. So I'm going to stop sharing this and I'm going to share my phone screen and show you how to do that real quick. Because I think
Okay.
that's a question that people out there will want to know. Um, so let me get right here. All right, and I'll show you exactly where to do that.
Julie, are you set up as a creator? Is that
I
your
am now. That just happened a couple of days ago.
Okay, good. Good.
I had the wrong profile because it was trying to connect to my Facebook business page and I didn't want it to. I wanted it to connect to my professional Facebook page, not business.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Okay.
so let me show you. When you go to edit profile right here,
Yes.
I'm clicking this button.
Got
So
it.
edit profile, and then you're going to scroll down and you're going to go to profile display.
Got it.
And your display category label is on, and you just need to turn that off.
Got it. I did it.
Okay. And that should be it. You
That
can
was easy.
also hide
Yep,
any
it's
like
gone.
any threads or anything like that, because your thread thing, all that can be gone. You want your profile to display. I do have 3 more tips, I guess you could say, on your profile. So let me go over there for the sake of time. I'm just gonna I had this pulled up. Okay. First of all, this line right here, Julie Altimus,
Uh-huh.
that can be, don't quote me on this because it might have changed, but it can be a lot of characters. I believe it's 70 characters, but this can
Okay.
be, and it can be changed twice every 14 days. Okay. This line right here could be speaker and camera confidence coach. This main line could be this, then you could have more lines in your profile.
I
Be-
like that.
Because Jules Altimus TV, your name is already in your title, which you can
Yes.
change. You can change that to
Can change that.
you can change it to Julie, by the way, if you're rebranding.
Yes,
But
I'm going to.
I would recommend that this line be similar. If you look at ours, we help entrepreneurs use social media to grow and boost sales.
So that's what you're using in the name line instead of your
Yes,
actual name.
because that is your actual, that's your keywords for, that's your Instagram keywords. That's what people search for. That's the most valuable part in your bio profile for Instagram.
Got it.
So that's one thing. Because nobody's, well, I'm not saying that nobody knows you, and I'm not saying that nobody is referring to you, but because your name is already up here, if they type in Julie Altimus, this will pop up, right?
Mm.
You don't need it also in here.
Okay.
This is too valuable to waste repeating yourself.
Got
So
it.
that's just it's a granular detail that a lot of people don't know. The other
Mhm.
thing I would suggest is, I could just be getting old. It's probably the case, I'm about to need readers, but this right here is not legible. It's not
Yeah, it's too.
easy to read. And if people that you are working with are struggling to show up on video, I would venture a guess that they swing towards the middle age group, which ours does. And that might not be the case, and that's fine. But you just want to be cognizant of that. So if I were you, I would either leave the black background and do a white symbol, or a white background with a black symbol, and clean that up a little so that it doesn't take away from your super cute profile pic, because these right now are competing with it.
Okay.
The other thing is, and this is just the content of your, let me stop sharing and go to our big, so everyone, speaking of, can see your Instagram big. Okay. The content of your highlight categories off camera. We did talk about niching down, not erasing realtors or anything like that, but really niching down on a more specific online course creator audience, or,
Mhm.
on the online entrepreneur. And
Mhm.
your first highlight category, of course, these change based on what you upload. So if you've uploaded most recently to Real Producers, that's the one that's going to show up first. I would recommend getting rid of anything that doesn't align with your niche market and
Okay.
your overarching goals. The family, I like that because you are a personal brand. People can get to know you, but I would almost wanted you to change that to my life or something like that and make it a little bit more holistic, because when people are coming to you as a coach, they're going to want to really know about you and your life, and that could be a more well-rounded bubble of like your I mean, are you a hiker? Are you a beach person? Do you vacation? Do you have dogs? Which I already know you do. That kind of thing.
Okay.
Your podcast, I'm going to show you. Let me go over here to next chapter social really quick so you can see that big.
So I host a podcast that is not mine. It's Real Producers Podcast.
Uh-huh.
And you will see they've tagged me in my feed there. They've tagged me. And so you'll see blue buttons that are not my branding colors and all that. And that drives me nuts. I don't know how to fix that or what to do with it. Maybe I should nix it all together because it doesn't align with my separate company, Rise to Shine. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that too.
We have lots of thoughts.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish this real quick and then we'll
Yes.
go to that a
Yes.
little. I love that you touched on links, because that was the next thing that we're going to talk about, and that really is a great transition into your content. So see how this is a white background with
With the black.
black. You have a webinar coming up as well. This is our webinar, our master class, which essentially this webinar talks about our EIEIO methodology. And at the end, we do have a core offer that we offer to the people that come to the webinar. But we drive all of our traffic to that one freebie. You'll see that all of our content from right here all the way so far, almost every call to action is join us for this webinar. And that leads to our launch, right? So I just want you to see how much that stands out.
Yes.
And when you click on it, see, I've made sure, and Angela, when she does this, she makes sure that we add a link to it. So not only do we share that reel to the story, but we add a link to it so that everyone can easily sign up.
And
So
that's all posting those on stories.
yes, that's in stories.
Okay.
So every one of these has been shared to stories using this little arrow. So when you click that arrow from your phone, when you're on your phone and you click the arrow, it says add to story. We add to story, and I'll show you how to do that here in a second. We add it to the story, and then we add a link sticker.
Why don't you
Gotcha.
do yes? If you don't know how to do that, Julie, we can show you one because we need to do yesterday's reel to stories anyway.
Great idea. Okay, so let me stop sharing and get this back. I swear I clicked that 400 times. Share. Okay. Sorry, I talked myself through everything. I'm like this checkout lady at the Hobby Lobby down the street. 2 plus 14 plus. It's hilarious. Okay. Okay. All right. So you want me to share this one?
Yes, we could
Okay.
do that because that one I didn't share the story, so we need to.
Okay. And you're going to see something that's going to blow your mind. And this is going to be if you take nothing else away, this one thing will really change your life. Okay. So we'll get to that. I'm going to click on Angelin. I'm going to scroll down and click on this right here. Clicking on that, and then see the little button where it says add to story. I'm going to add story, make it a little bit bigger. Then I'm going to click this little face right here. So I'm going to click that face. Now, hold on. I've got to have the link copied to my clipboard. So give me a second. I got to go over here and copy to my clipboard. Oh, imagine that I don't have it. So give me a second. I'm going to start over. Don't pay attention to what I'm doing right now. I'm going up. I'm going up to my our link tree, and I've got to grab this link. Okay. So I'm grabbing that link. Open an external browser, and I'm just copying and pasting the link. That's all I'm doing. However, you have to find your link, just go get it. Okay, so let's go back and start over. All right. So again, I'm going to click on Angelin. I'm going to click the arrow. I'm going to click add to story, resize it. I'm going to click the little face, and now I'm going to go here to link. This is one of the only places in Instagram where you can include a clickable link. Very important. So I'm going to click that link. I'm going to paste the link in here, and then I can customize the sticker text. Change, no, let's say up level your socials. Up level your socials and grow. Okay, so there's our link. Now I'm going to click on, oh, whoops, sorry, hold on. I am going to, here, let me just show you something really quick. When I click on it with my finger, it changes it to all the different colors that it can be. I imagine that you like the pink and black because that's very on brand for you. So I'm going to make that pretty big. That's also on brand for us. I'm going to do that. And then I discovered pink click. When I type in the word pink click,
That's cute.
isn't that
I like
cute?
that.
I found that the other day. So it's like it's a secret or something. But anyway, so there you go. So I'm going to add to my stories by clicking right here or clicking right here, whichever, and share. Done.
And then
Now,
right there is the add the highlights if you wanted to add it to highlights.
yes. So I'm going to go back to the stories. And you see how it's still saying upload? Just give me
Right.
1 second. As soon as that's done uploading, there will, like Angelin just said, there's a little heart that says add to highlights. I'm going to add that to the highlight free. And oh, there it is. So I'm going to click right here. And see, you can choose which highlight you want to add it to, or you can create a new one if it doesn't exist. In our case, it does exist. So I'm going to click free. And now that highlight, that story, even though it's supposed to disappear in 24 hours, it will live forever in my highlights until we delete it. So now everybody that goes to our feed will see free and they're like, ooh, free. What's free? Oh, that sounds like something I need, and then so there's a clickable link in every single one except for that one. Every single
Right.
one except for this one. So, anyways, there it is. Now, what I want to show you, this is the life-changing transformational information you can't get anywhere else. Instagram doesn't want you sending people to other links.
Right. I've heard
They
that.
don't make it easy to track that number. But
Mhm.
Angelin and I track that number very closely. It's the only number that really freaking matters because let's be frank. I mean, your social media is really to drive traffic to your products and services and podcast and other places, right? So it's called external link clicks, and I'll show you how to get there. You'll go to your professional dashboard. You go to views. Look at our views are up. That's really good. You go to views and then you
I don't
scroll.
see views, but I wonder if that's because I have a content profile now.
No, what does yours say at the top?
Insights, accounts reached, accounts
Accounts reached.
engaged.
Go to accounts reached.
Okay.
There's different versions out there right now.
Got it.
Instagram is
Okay.
testing different things. Mhm.
Yep. Okay, so do you see this screen once you click on there?
Yes, I do.
Okay, now scroll all the way down to the bottom. Do you see this external link taps?
Yes.
If your one social media goal is to double that number, and eventually, you'll have 300 link taps. So doubling that number, 600 link, the more clicks you get, the more cash you have. That's our rule of thumb. For our
Okay.
clients that we manage their social, for you, for us, the more clicks we have, the more cash we have, meaning the more people have clicked to subscribe, to, download whatever it is, or sign up for our class, our RSVP for an event we have coming up. It all equates to traffic, which traffic equates to cash, right? And
So when this external link tap, that means they're going to your website, or they filled out your registration form, or they
They're
took some
clicking something in your link tree.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
there's four places that people can click a link. DMs, if you direct
Mhm.
message someone, your stories,
Hmm.
your profile, and of course your highlights when you save your story to a highlight.
So anytime you can put an external link, that's where it's tracking. Okay. Okay.
Right. So
So let's go quickly because we've got to move forward, and I want to get into some of your content. Okay, so obviously, Julie, what is working brilliantly is your face on here. You are leading by example. You are such a pro on camera. I the amount of times you were on camera versus the other things you're mixing in, I love your content mix, as far as face to camera versus other kind of content. Wouldn't you agree, Brooklyn? I feel like she's got that dialed in pretty well. It's not like you're just on camera. There are other things, but you're obviously that's who you are, and so you're doing a lot of that. So I do think that's really good. So that's a plus.
yep, that's great. And it's important. It's what you teach. So it's a natural branded thing for your face to be on camera. You're practicing what you preach.
The one of the videos where I think it's okay, I can't remember exactly which one it was, but you talk about leading with a strong hook. And we know this, we all know this is marketing, but I feel like there's a little bit of that lacking in your content. So there's not, see, a lot of your videos don't have any hooks on them, there's not a written hook. So there's three places where you should have a hook. It should be written not just on your cover photo, but also on the first part of your video, because they're only going to see your cover photo if they start on Instagram on your profile. If they're scrolling and they're scrolling content and you show up, they don't see that cover photo. So if the cover photo is the only place where you have the question, like was it, so right there on screen, which says struggling with self-confidence, that's a hook. It's a hook. Okay, we're gonna call it a hook, but that only shows up on the cover photo. If it's on the screen, you don't lead with that in the beginning of the video. So you kind of have to repeat it. And it's a little bit of if you just put it on the first of your video, you can use that first slide of your video as your cover photo, and you don't have to make a separate one. But you should have a strong written hook. You should also have a verbal hook. And then you should have a hook that gets people to read the caption. So I think these are things now that are actually really going to help you grow and get seen. It's going to help Instagram show you to the right people. So when you are creating content, you want to be speaking to and saying the words. If you are an online course creator, if you have a membership, these are tips that can help you. Like, you want to be saying those words and putting those words in your caption as well. Apologize. Because that's going to help Instagram know that that's who you need to be shown to. Okay. So again, those are my biggest tips right now, and I'm gonna pass over to Brooklyn so she can share some good and some help too. Is more hooks, stronger, and I'm gonna say almost a little bit sexier hooks. So when you say struggling with self-confidence, let me give you an example. What if you said, okay, this we have to think really cleverly off the cuff.
I've got one.
Okay.
Point of view, you're struggling with self-confidence and you find me. That's not as sexy as probably what she would have come up with, but a little bit less generic. Maybe you can put these through chat. Honestly, you can take a lot of your different hooks, put them through chat, and ask them to rewrite them as a point of view. Or you can do what I do. And I am a sucker for when I find a good hook, I copy and paste the link to the reel and put it on a note in my phone. That way I can come back and take that hook and make a running list of hooks I love and then ask chat, or I can just change a word or two and make it my own.
So
So,
let's think about something like your audience. If it is like more of a middle-aged woman, what is something she could relate to? Well, you know, we all grew up watching like the Golden Girls or something. So you could say like, okay, are you a Blanche or I can't remember the other one's name, you know, but
Yeah.
you know, if you had like a, which one are you? A Blanche, and basically now you're going to talk about how she had self-confidence, she was more shy. Which one are you? And you kind of go into that. That is going to be a hook that will be actually it'll either be shared or Instagram will like that. They'll like that because it's a little more clever. Your audience is going to relate. You're going to get more engagement. Those kinds of things. Instead of struggling with self-confidence, try to think of something that your audience could relate to. Like what did our generation grow up with that would make them feel self-confident or not
mhm.
self-confident? Or does it feel like, you know, wearing your retainer to school? You know, like I don't know, something where you can figure out something that ties in like a pop culture reference or something they can relate to or a song. One of our ones that we did not so long ago was I played some Journey song and it was like if you know every word to this song, you're probably my audience, you know, or something like that because again, you're finding those things that relate. So sometimes it's like especially going into 2025, we have to be a little more creative with our content, but it's also getting very niche to your audience, which is exactly what you want to do anyway. So you
Mhm.
can use those hooks to actually just dial right into that person that you actually want.
Yeah. And something that
And
I think would help you with that, it helps me, is I have here's a reference right here I can show you. We have this on our website, and I literally printed it and have it on my desktop too. And it's called 50 Reels Starter Ideas. But if you went on chat or wanted to just make your own list of 80s pop culture references that you could just look at a glance so that it's at your fingertips, because everything has to be so damn creative these days. It's hard to be juggling all the balls and do something like that off the cuff. So if you have quick reference guides laying around that you prepare to set yourself up for success, the atomic habits, right? Um,
Mhm.
that would really help you. Just pop culture references, video marketing tips, different, just all different kinds of things like that you could have as a little reference guide. So you could just, when it's time to do it, you could sit down, glance. Oh, and I mean, within like reading 3 different examples, you'll probably have an idea.
Mhm. Yeah.
Visually, there's one other hook. There's a visual hook, and I think you've probably seen these or heard about them.
Yes.
But
Thank
it's
you.
when someone walks onto camera and they're holding their phone, or they're looking at their phone, or they're texting, and then they put it down and they start talking to the camera, or they walk into camera and they do a full move like me putting my hair up. Um, those little mid action movements, or setting your phone down, even if you're not really setting your phone down, but you just adjust the phone. Any of those little tiny things are visual hooks that expand the reach of your video. Um,
You want to do is get people to stop the scroll. So if there's something interesting, it can even be if you have like if you made a great video and you're like, oh, I didn't do anything visually hooked. Maybe there might be like if you put it in CapCut or Instagram, you could do transition at the beginning, like a little swirl or, like a slide in or something. I mean, that's secondary, but those little things can help actually.
Yep. So
I want
whatever
to back just for a second. When you were talking about video hooks
Mhm.
and you were talking about how I should use them like verbally, you're talking about in the video, then I should also use them on the printed cover photo. And then I should also put them in the title or the caption. Can't remember which one you said. Maybe you said caption.
In your written caption.
Yeah, the written caption. And then what do you think about putting I don't know what the rule is on Instagram, how many hashtags you can use per post, but would you also suggest that I put a hashtag online course creator or hashtag online entrepreneur or something like that in addition to no confidence or whatever else I might use?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Hashtags are not as important as they used to be. However, it gives you another opportunity to place a keyword into your written content. So in case you've missed something or you wanted to add something additional, that you can do that in a hashtag and it isn't weird, right? So basically Instagram scans all of your content, including your hashtags, to see um, what you've included and so that it knows where to put you. It's like where to file you, where does she go in the filing cabinet? And so hashtags give you another place to do that. People don't search by hashtag as much as they used to. They now go to the search bar and they'll type in words. And so now Instagram just brings up all the things. But if you've got some hashtags in there, that's fine. You don't need to use all 30 hashtags anymore. I mean, I don't think that's really.
Treat Instagram, the algorithm of Instagram, like a 16-year-old boy that just got hired at Target and he is in charge of the back of the house and putting things away. Okay. So let's say he's unloading the truck and he gets a box and these little makeup pads are labeled face wash, cleaning pads. He doesn't know if they go over here by the Clorox or over here by the makeup or over there by the face wash. Well, he doesn't know where to put them because they could be this or this or this or this or this, and he gets confused. So at the beginning when we talked about your audience and how well-rounded your audience is, from realtors to online course creators to all of that, if your content on social media is more niche to a certain audience, then Instagram, like that 16-year-old boy, will be more clear on, oh, that goes in this department. And then that way you're not diluted. And now all of a sudden you're just getting bebopped around to different departments because they're not really sure where to land you. So it's not that the online course creators are the only ones that will hire you. It's that you're actually going to be recognized and seen by more people if you train Instagram where to put you.
Mhm. Okay.
Visually, one of your next goals is to look good online. So let's talk about that for a second. I would highly recommend that you pick just a couple, 2, maybe 3 versions of one of these and stick with that kind of visual aesthetic. I love that these are both pink and black. They're very different and I like that too, but don't pick more than like one more and then just rotate those out. I would say on your cover, stick to one color and one, either it's highlighted or it's not highlighted. It's a standard size and it's usually centered. If it's not centered, then at least a little bit more up off the line here, so it's more in your face.
Right.
Just being consistent with that. Those are not bad, but I will tell you, on Reels, you can go back and change your cover photo.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. Now, I'm going to show you something that you can do, and I'll show you what you can't do. So there are some limitations to that, but if you wanted to ever do that, I'll show you how to do it.
I'm usually creating my cover photo in CapCut, so does that matter?
Wherever you create it, just be consistent. That's you know,
Well, I
it
meant like if I was gonna go back and change it, I just
Yeah,
wondered if I
that doesn't
could.
matter. As long as it's coming from your camera roll, once you saved it to your camera roll, it won't matter.
Okay.
okay. So I'm gonna go to this one, this one of Angelina and I's face. Okay, I'm gonna click on that, and I'm gonna click the three dots and go to edit. See where it says cover? I'm gonna
Yes.
click cover. Now I can choose a different frame, or I
Right.
can add from my camera roll,
Even
Okay.
after it's posted.
even after it's posted. The only thing I can't do, let me show you this. Hold on. I do have
Is that a reel or a story? Because I
that was a
thought there
reel.
was, that
That's
was
a
a
reel.
reel. Okay.
Uh-huh.
It was a reel that we shared to story.
Yeah, we had already shared that to story, but okay, so I'm gonna go to my drafts just to show you. Because I do have a reel for tomorrow. So this is my drafted reel. I'm just gonna show you what it looks like. So when I edit cover here, when I edit the cover here, I can go to my profile grid and I can move it up or down. I haven't made a cover photo for this yet because it's not due till tomorrow, but I can move it up or down. I can make it big or small. You can change the orientation of it. You cannot do that if you go back after the fact and edit your cover. The only option you have is to choose from your camera roll down, I'm sorry, a frame right here, or to add from your camera roll. Now, why that's important, let me save this as a draft. I'm going to go over here to Canva. Do you use Canva at all?
I do use Canva.
Okay. So when you go to let's see, hold
I
on.
used Canva, for example, those static graphics. I used
Mhm.
Canva for that,
Oh,
but my
good. Yep.
reels, I'm only editing in CapCut.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So I'm going to create a design in real cover photo. There we go. So you could take your raw video that isn't in CapCut, put it here, capture the shot that you want. Let's see. I'm just going to make one up really quick. Videos. Let's just go with this one for fun. Okay, so there you go. I'm just stopped right there. I'm going to create this and say my oh, my I really don't know what's happening right now. Hold on.
It's teeny tiny under that dot, I think. There you go.
So anyways, obviously, but because I know that I can't move it up and down, I cannot put my hook down here because it won't show on the profile grid.
Gotcha.
I have to put it here, and then I'll obviously use an effect that makes it, a little bit easier to read. This is not what I would choose, but you can kind of see. But as long as I keep it a square, then I know that I'm going to center that because Instagram's going to center it for me. So there you go. And then I can save that. I can save that. I've got Canva on my phone. And I can download that to my camera roll, and then I can go back and upload that to a reel if I want to change the cover photo. So just
Okay.
make sure that if you do prepare and you go change cover photos, that you need to create cover photos that center your hook already, because you're not going to be able to do that.
Okay.
All right. I feel like I'm sorry. I didn't mean to beat that dead horse. Okay.
Gotcha.
Sorry. Okay. All right. Let me share my screen again so we can go back to your Instagram. Okay. So that could make a difference. Angeline, what would you tell her to do? Would you say to go back and change them or just start as she wishes to proceed?
I, uh, I would, I would actually just, I don't like to go back and redo anything. That's not really my thing. I feel like it can be just a little bit of a waste of time. But I think as you're going forward and creating new content, and especially as you're going into the launch, this does give you a chance to kind of make your new launch content look a little different, be a little bit more special. So starting from here on up, and you say you have a little bit of a ways to go before you're ready to start marketing the launch. Is that, or your conversion event?
I have about a month.
Okay. Okay. So it's still just a little bit early, but you can start talking about start really thinking now, who's your audience for this? What are you going to be teaching? You can start talking about the content in it, not necessarily about the course, but teach a little nugget from that. So start repeating yourself because you need to say the same things over and over and over, just not exactly the same way. We have some great, in fact, our free webinar on Friday is about the EIEIO. We teach you how to do that. That exact thing is how do you take one thing and talk about it, entertaining, informational, educational, inspirational, and making that offer. So we're teaching that in our course our webinar on Friday. But that's what you need to do is keep repeating yourself. So I would actually start that right now. So what are your core content, pillars that you really want to focus on for this webinar and start talking about those things over and over. That would be my
Yeah.
biggest takeaway for you.
So you're
Yeah.
saying like in the videos, start talking about the fact I have a webinar coming in February.
Yes, but not not so much on the nose. I mean, you could, but what I think what we teach is that you take your focus. So your focus is going to be the content of your actually driving traffic to this webinar, right? Your one thing is driving traffic to that webinar because that webinar then drives traffic to your offer.
Yes.
Angeline's saying to make a list of everything you teach in that webinar, not everything, but some core concepts you want to focus on. And your content here, look at this grid for a second. There's 9 boxes here. We call that your 9-box billboard. All right.
Right. Mhm.
EIEIO.
Mhm.
EIEI. Okay. So the O falls right in the middle. That's your offer.
Right.
Educational, inspirational, entertaining, informative, offer. Keep repeating that sell because those 4 are earning your right to sell.
Mhm.
So you have to think of your webinar in terms of how can I educate? How can I inspire? How can I entertain with this? How can I inform about it? When is it? What is it? Who's it for? And then, hey, sign up for my thing and be really direct about it. But it multiplies your ability to talk about your webinar by 5 ways, and you're never coming at it from the same angle. So that educational piece, if you make that list like Angeline was talking about, your core educational content and takeaways from the webinar, then that's your educational piece. And you just keep talking about that for the next month in that order, and you've earned the right to sell, and you're going to have signups. Our webinar, we've got people signing up for it, and it's like we're so excited, and we teach this stuff, so it's like it's working. It does work. We're right in the middle of doing what you're about to do. So
I wouldn't start, and I will say this is an important little detail. You're a month away from your webinar. You don't want people signing up today for something that digitally is a month away. It's too soon.
Right.
That's too big of a gap.
Mhm.
We started 1 week before. 10 days, maybe 2 weeks max is really all you want people to be registering as far in advance for something digital like this. So over the next couple of weeks, I would just be talking about, I would just be laying the foundation, getting people interested in the content that you're saying. So teach, give, add value, drop some nuggets like you do, but just make sure that the content that you're dropping is almost like a sneak peek to what's coming.
Yeah.
Just because it helps Instagram know where to put you, it helps your audience hear it. Now they're not hearing it for the first time when they're hearing you talk about the webinar. So now it's landing a little different. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Um,
at the end of the day, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, so all these cover photos right here that have all the words, all kinds of different places, those all need to be right in the center, like visually need to be right in the center of my face. And then, is
Um,
that what you were
I
saying?
I would just say be a little more consistent. Wherever you put it, be more consistent with the text and where you put it.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Yes. So, before I forgot that question, that's why I want to just say that real quick. But as far as the videos go, every single one of these are talking about my content that's actually in the webinar. And now I'm not saying anything about the webinar because, like Angelin said, it's too far to talk about this far in advance, but it is about, like the one with my dog, for example, I'm talking about pretend like it's, you're talking through the lens of the camera to your best friend. And so that's why that actually got a lot of views, not
Yes.
necessarily well, actually on Instagram it did too. It didn't get a lot of reactions like a love or a heart or something, but a lot of people watched it, and on YouTube it was very popular. I didn't think that video was going to go anywhere. I mean, I
Listen,
don't know
dogs
what
are
the
magic.
videos are going to do.
Add a dog. Dogs are magic. Anytime I add a dog, well, I work for a garden company. If we put the plant with the dog wins. So yeah,
Yeah, they were watching it because the dog was in it, not because of me. Because if you see the other views, and well, on my end, I can see what videos did what views. But yeah, that
yeah,
one got a lot of views.
Well,
yeah.
anytime you can uh, be more personal and add more personal touch to your reels, the reality of who you are and the connection that people will have with you, the better. So okay, so as we wrap up, we're gonna just recap what's working. Your branding is working. You're pink and black. You've got that. You're very consistent with that. What's working? You're showing up on video, which that's what you teach, and that's what we would tell you to do. More of you in your content. The other thing that's really working for you is your educational content. So that's already aligned with your webinar. You're starting to teach that algorithm who you are and what you do and what you're about. So you're already priming the pump so that when you get to that launch, it's working. What isn't working, maybe you're adding a couple more types of hooks. We did talk about the visual, the written, the spoken, and the ending hook to drive traffic to that caption. So focusing on that, maybe updating your covers if you want to, but in a nutshell, we basically think you should just start as you wish to proceed and just start being more consistent from here on out instead of going back and redoing anything that was from before. Um, being more intentional about your EIEIO and talking about um, that in a more methodical way, making a list of hooks and pop culture references that speak to that more niched audience. And of course, at the top, changing out these highlight covers, and number one, adding more links to your stories. So those are our recommendations. We hope that this helped a lot, and you've got some homework to do, and we can't wait to see it. But without further ado, we just want to say thank you for letting us do this, and we look forward to working with you more in the future.
Thank you. Can you remind me what the first one was?
Um,
What's not working? Oh, it was the hooks,
yes,
the
and
video
this
hooks.
will be recorded on YouTube as well, and we'll send you a link to that. We'll also tag you in that, and then I'm going to send you the notes that I took on your form as well.
Yeah, just to
Okay.
make sure you have your hooks visually on the screen, that you're also repeating them verbally, and then also at the beginning of your captions too. Those will help a lot.
Brooklyn, can you scroll down? Let me ask you a question down the feed there. So because I host the Real Producers podcast, they make me a collaborator, and those blue squares are Real Producers squares.
Mhm.
But because I'm a collaborator, it goes on my grid here, and I don't want it there because
Go
it's not.
Yes, go just click on the 88% of agents fail. When you click on that and you click on your three dots, you can remove it from your profile grid. It'll still be a reel on your reels page, but it won't show up on your profile grid. And you don't have to accept the collaboration if you don't want to. I mean, obviously you do, but if you do accept the collaboration, you can just remove it from your profile grid.
I think my team would also probably create a cover photo for me, or I could, that was more in line with my brand.
You
But
could do that as well, yeah.
and listening to you speak about get rid of everything that doesn't align with my branding, because at the top there was a Real Producers highlight button.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my page. The only reason why I had Real Producers associated with this is just so when people go and do their homework on me, and people do, the people that I interview sometimes will, snoop around and do
Right.
homework on me,
Right.
that they can see that I'm with Real Producers. But I think there's probably enough evidence other places. Like I do have a Facebook page that's parked that talks about Real Producers. So I'd really like to take anything Real Producers related probably off of my highlight buttons, just so that this could just be about me.
Do it.
Yeah, because you are a video coach, an online
Right.
video coach. Real Producers and producing that magazine has nothing to do with that.
Yes.
Angelin and I have other businesses besides social media marketing coaches and Next Chapter Social. We each have our own businesses, but we don't talk about those on Next Chapter Social. They're
Gotcha.
their own thing. So I
Yeah.
agree with you on that. But
Okay.
okay, I'll send you over these notes in the next 24 hours, and we will have this glow up call on YouTube within the next month. I think you are the end of January, so that's when it will go up, and we will be sure to
Good
see.
in time for your launch. Yeah, so maybe
Yeah.
Yeah.
fantastic. So
Thank you, ladies. I
this
appreciate
is
it.
great.
This has been really, really informative and helpful.
Yeah,
Good.
you're welcome. I'm going to take a little screenshot really quick. So,
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
We got
Fine.
to get this one.
I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. So don't
I
worry.
have lipstick on today for
I
Pete's
know,
sake.
right?
But you look really great. If that's you with no lipstick on, then whatever.
My
Okay.
sweatshirt.
1, 2, 3. Okay, that's cute.
Bye,
All right.
Julie. See you later.